What is going on, guys? I'm alone. Welcome to Existing with Maggie. Rob is having some technical difficulties. He will be joining us as soon as he gets this sorted out. Just okay, so before I get started on my, usual rant, I would like for the people in the chat to tell me, is my microphone okay? Because it wasn't last week, and this was a terrific bummer because I explained a lot of things at the beginning of the show, and I was so bummed out that my mic wasn't working correctly. So I'm gonna need you guys to tell me if my mic is fine. Um, yes. Okay. So thank you for Jade. I'm sorry, Jade is a wonderful name to call you by Brian. Brian. So Jade is what I will be calling you from now on. Soupy, thank you so much for being here. Corey, the usual suspects. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to Coexisting with Rob and Maggie. Rob will be here shortly. It is Friday the 13th. I know that this means a lot to a lot of people. You can send us a super chat to tell, what Friday the 13th means to you and me, like a killer fan of Supernatural. That is probably one of the many, many reasons why Sean will not grant me StreamYard access because I'm a Supernatural fan. Thank you for joining us today on this mono show. Rob will be joining us shortly. Hi, Joe, in the chat. So I want you, as I start off, let me start off by doing my, usual shtick because there's no one here that asked me how my week was. So let me get out my usual shtick. Hi, thank you for joining us. Please leave a like in the video. It is the easiest way to support us. It's also free. If you're feeling generous, on the other hand, you can send us a super chat or a humper chat at humperchats.com. Super chat is the bottom of the YouTube live chat, the little dollar sign. Any amount will get your question or statement read live on the air. Of course, that will be if Rob will join us so he can put the actual comments on the air. Please subscribe to Fightful Select. It is the easiest $5 that you're ever going to spend when it comes to wrestling news. A lot of contracts, a lot of scoopsies before and after pay-per-views. Both Sean and Corey have been busting their ass. It is also our bread and butter. So it is the most wonderful way in which you can support us. Please subscribe to Fightful Overbooked, this very channel that we are on. And please subscribe to youtube.com/Fightful. It is our main channel in which you can get a lot of shows. But coming out of this week's Spotlight with Steven Jensen and Jeremy Lambert, they announced that this was their final show on the main Fightful channel. They almost gave me a heart attack because I thought that they were ending the show, and I'm like, please don't do this to us. So they're moving here. Their home will be Fightful Overbooked, and I'm so pumped for this because the Spotlight is one of my all-time favorite shows on Fightful. Yeah, Soupy sent us a super chat, but I can't possibly display it on air. Soupy, I will make sure that Rob displays it when he hops in. He said, "But first, Maggie, how are you doing there?" Thank you, Soupy, for asking me. You're so generous. Okay, because I am so incredibly sure that as soon as Rob joins us, we are about to start to talk about AEW All Out. I would, because like I told Rob this, and I did put up a vague tweet on Sunday. Um, I I had a really rough weekend last week, so I I was working my day shift like normally on Saturday. And when my shift ended, I remained in the bar because a very close friend of mine was celebrating her birthday. So I was like, I'm gonna just, hang out for a bit and then I'm gonna go home after my shift. Of course, my plan was to be in bed by midnight because on the next day I was planning on waking up at freaking 6 a.m. just so I could catch up on All Out before going to work the day shift on a Sunday. So what happened was one of my colleagues said that she had a fever and she was sick and she could not work the night shift on Saturday. And I was like, okay, so I'm gonna be in the bar regardless. So it's everything's gonna be fine. I'll be there if my help is needed. I got it covered. So what happened was I worked the entire night shift after I worked the day shift. I almost said nothing to my friend who was celebrating her birthday. She was so understanding about it. I wouldn't be. Um, she was such a doll. I adore her. So what happened was around 3:30 in the morning, like while still the bar was working, I go to my boss and I'm like, "Do you want to maybe gonna want to go work for a while because I have to fucking go home. I need to sleep. I have to get up at 6 a.m." And he's like, "Why do you have to get up at 6 a.m.? Your shift is way later." And I'm like, "That is not your fucking business." So he went behind the bar, started working. I went home. I slept for a total of 1 hour and a half. And I woke up. And I feel like this this was the first time I ever felt like that. I'm not 20 anymore, guys. I'm 35. I'm just a granny and I could not be asked to, to fucking care for an hour and a half of sleep when I'm working so much. And I was like, okay, let's see if this happens. I make a cup of coffee. And coffee has always woken me up. Like always. This did not wake me up whatsoever. This is the first time ever. Um so frantic highs, it's not just me. Rob's having technical difficulties. So I'm just here rambling up, up until he works out whatever the hell he yeah. Uh yeah, so a cup of coffee didn't wake me up. And as it turns out, the last thing I remember was Mercedes Monet fighting Sheeta. And then this is in nowhere their fault, by the way. And I know, oh, she falls asleep right in the middle of the women's match. It's not that. It's just I cannot function that way. So I fell asleep for an extra 45 minutes and then I woke up with Bryan Danielson versus Jack Perry. So I was like, damn it, I have to rewind that now. And this was even worse because like now I have even fewer minutes to watch until I have to go to work. So I watched everything. I watched the entire show, the end of the show. I even caught a bit of the post show with Sean. So I went to work, barely went to work. I got a bunch of peaches because my body was screaming for vitamins. And that's why, hi,
Hi. 1 second.
what happened? Oh, okay. But can you hear me though?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Uh, yes. People are saying that John Cena is my special guest. Yeah.
Maggie, what I have not
Yeah.
done in a long time. Hold on 1 second so I don't mess these earphones up.
Oh, you're gonna splash yourself with water? Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Da, 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 da.
I need to
You
cool
can
down.
leave your hat on.
Okay. I needed to cool down because I was just hot as I could be. Like, just
You're always hot. Come on.
Well, thanks, but I mean, cursing up a storm, just making myself look like an idiot outside, looking for my headphones, looking for.
Where were your headphones?
I don't know. Still can't find them. I went to my neighbor, and they had some ones some that haven't been used. So
Oh, okay. So you're using your neighbor's
yeah,
headphones.
I
Okay, so you
said I'd buy them
probably
for.
lost yours. So
Yeah, I think I
that's
probably left
totally
mine at a
fine.
gym, but I had backups too, and I can't find those either. So
We probably left those in the gym too.
probably we'll find it.
Yes, yes, you will. So, as we start off the show, I was trying to keep it together. I've been entertaining the chat. Yes, Soupy did send us a super chat. I did talk about it, but if you can please, like display it on the screen.
What am I supposed to display?
The super chat that
Oh,
Soupy sent.
oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yes, I already, because like I said that I wasn't gonna ramble about my day because like you weren't here to ask me about my day, so he sent a super chat just so I can talk. Thank you, Soupy, so much. You're a doll for doing this. Um Rob, that's just water, right? Like it's not vodka or tequila.
For now, it's water.
Yeah, okay.
I don't have any of that other stuff here, so it's okay. No, I wouldn't drink any of
Yeah,
this stuff.
that is awesome. I made sure that my microphone was working properly, not like, this past week. So I was telling everyone about my horrible Saturday and Sunday last week. I told you everything about it.
Yeah.
But like, let me just, continue, and then you're gonna talk about, whatever happened. You look really good, by the way. Just
Thanks.
just FYI, I know that you're really frustrated right now because you have that expression on your
Mhm.
face, that I'm gonna kill you look.
Not you, but I'm gonna kill
No, no, no.
somebody.
I know. It's not my fault. Just
No, I know.
like I totally understand. Yeah. So I went to work just barely after a total of 2 hours and 37 minutes of sleep, according to my watch. And I bought a bunch of peaches again because I wanted, my body was aching for it. So the moment I got to work, I saw that the restaurant next to us was just opening up, and then I go see the my friend who's working there, and I'm like, the minute the cook arrives, even before you make him a coffee, he's gonna make me a hamburger. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you the money now. Just tell him to make me a fucking burger with fries and honey mustard. Okay, this is what I want. So, because we had a football game, Northern Ireland versus Bulgaria, there were a lot of Irish people in my city, and one of them comes into the bar with before I even open up the bar, and he's like, "Yeah, what's your cheapest beer? And can you play Oasis?" And I'm like, yes, I can give you the cheapest beer. And no, I will not play Oasis now because
Mhm.
I had nothing against Oasis. Okay, I was indifferent. I will always appreciate the impact bands like this have on music. I have nothing against Oasis, but the fucking people who fucking bug me all the time to fucking play Oasis because they're fucking brilliant. I don't give a fuck. Now I hate Oasis because of the people.
Mhm.
Tell us how you're doing, Rob.
I'm fantastic.
Apart from being wet.
I'm well. I'm good. I'm good.
Yes.
It's been an interesting week. So
It has been an interesting week.
it seems like All Out was like forever ago.
It
It
did.
yeah, it's just weird, and you know, All Out was night and day different than All In. So that you had that going on. You had a Raw was in Calgary, so you had the best of all time there, in my opinion. The GOAT, Bret Hart. So that made me happy. And
The
then
goat and the boat.
yeah, the GOAT and the boat were there. It was good to see Natalia return. And you had Gunther
Gunther.
made me made me belly laugh with
So
that.
much.
Yeah,
So
because
much.
I tweeted out earlier in the day, like taking a shot, and the fact that that happened, like, just made me even happier. Um,
Corey pointed out something extremely important, that he was so aware of the situation. that almost everyone thought that he was gonna say Shawn Michaels. Okay, almost everyone. Like I, not even in my wildest dreams did I think that he was gonna bring up Bill Goldberg.
You could
And
the best thing about it is how they all smirked, like they couldn't even
oh
like.
yeah, the both smirked. Uh, I mean, Gunther, it feels like he was waiting all his life to say that because, like, right when Raw, like that segment started, he said, "I'm about to pour my heart out to my childhood hero. You're always gonna be a close second to my favorite wrestler, Bill Goldberg." And he
Yeah,
said Bill Goldberg.
yeah,
He didn't say Goldberg. He said the full because he's so aware of the bit.
yeah,
This is something that Corey pointed out that I
yep,
didn't even, that
yeah.
didn't even cross my mind. He's just so good. This was probably the best thing that happened on Raw. Um, I because if Bret Hart has your back, you're probably one of the biggest baby faces out there. And yeah, so of course Sami Zayn's gonna get that, Rob. Um, but if you like, we can talk about All Out and Dynamite now, or we can leave it for later.
We can, um, yeah, we can leave it for later because we are. I mean, we already started talking about that because the one thing too is we know that Punk and Drew are headed for their third pay per view match or PLE match, and it's going to be a Hell in a Cell. So, which we figured it would be, and this is where it needs to end. And that's my hope. I think that's everybody else's hope too. Um,
Yeah. I mean, the bracelet isn't a thing anymore, so
well, they actually brought it
um,
back, but they brought it. They changed it up. So
yeah,
it,
a
yeah, now
different
it's
one.
just
But
now it's just CM Punk. So
yeah, but what I meant to say is that CM Punk's bracelet isn't a thing anymore because, like, I understand, and you were so right that they made money on it.
mhm.
I just got I'm just want to give you your flowers because you were so right about that. Um, but the way this transpired was Drew was in the ring and he said that he's so happy that there's CM Punk chance because from now on they'll be in memory of. That was so I love that line. It was so good. He did make fun of the four corners match. He did make fun of that. He's so self-aware and I love that. He said that he was disappointed in Wade Barrett and
Mm.
and Barrett did not he stood his ground and I love that about Wade.
Yep.
Uh, I miss him in the ring. I don't know if this is a tease for something in the future. I don't want to speculate. I can only hope. But then Adam Pearce came out and said that Punk was not finished with Drew, and that they were gonna have a um,
Oh, that was
a
horrible.
Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood. Um, I hope that this is the end of this feud.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride. They can I have I don't mind at all if Drew mentions CM Punk every now and then in a hate manner, you
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
Punk does the same also. I wouldn't mind that, but just if they could just, just stop, it's gonna be it's gonna be great. But like what do you think? I was really excited for Wade Barrett. He's been awesome on commentary. I've adored him on commentary.
Yeah. You know, the thing is you hit it right on the head there. The I'm glad this is where I want it to end. I want this to be the last one. That's really all I can say about it. I want this to be it. Let them go their separate ways after this. Maybe this does lead to a match with Drew and Wade Barrett. I
Hmm.
would love that if that's what Wade Barrett wants to do. I think that'd be great if he wants to get back in the ring. I think that'd be cool. If he doesn't, then so be it. So it's just one of those deals where I just know one thing. I want this to be over with after this pay-per-view. I want them to
Yes.
go their own separate ways, and we go from there. That's really all I can say about it because it's. I mean, this feud's been going on forever, and
It's
it
been
needs.
really I've been enjoying the feud. I'm not gonna lie. I've been enjoying it. Uh but enough.
Yeah, enough's enough, and it's
Yes.
time for a change.
Yes.
That's what.
We have a chat from Jason. He said that he's gonna be on at SmackDown tonight.
Oh,
Um
very cool.
Very cool. It's gonna be yes. I hope you have a wonderful time, sweetie.
It'll be a
And
memorable one.
yes, it is. We have Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa. Um, what was the stipulation for that
Isn't it?
match?
Wasn't it Steel Cage or no?
Steel cage match? I think it
Maybe
was
I don't know.
steel
I can't
cage
remember.
match. I'm gonna check.
Yeah,
I'm
Steel
gonna
Cage.
check.
It is. It's Steel
Okay,
Cage.
yes, steel cage match. Uh, Not only that, but like something happened on last week's SmackDown that I cannot, for the life of me, wrap my hand around it. Vinci had his
Yeah. That's
debut, and they had him pinned in 3 seconds by Apollo Crews.
like I was speechless. I could not believe that. I was
This was
laughing
the
though,
most Vince thing ever.
but it was hilarious though. I thought it was brilliant though. I do. I really do. I thought it was brilliant because I was like, what? I don't like going into it. I was like, I don't really get this. I mean, they're rebuilding him, but like he's just all of a sudden going to be like really good. That was my line of thinking the whole time. Like I don't see this working at all. That was my opinion. Like I don't see this working, and I like him as a wrestler. I really do. But
Oh yeah, Imperium were
when that happened, I was just like, holy hell, that was amazing. And I
well.
like
I
I
I don't know how to feel.
I feel
I
bad for him,
suppose
but
you
I
could.
also think it's hilarious. I mean, I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, it is hilarious, but like, what kind of hilarious is it? Is it haha or huh? You know, Be-
I think it's
because
both. Uh,
uh um could we see The Rock on SmackDown? This is a wonderful question.
I think it's a
Uh,
very big possibility. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, all of us remember what happened on the first SmackDown on Fox, right?
Hmm.
You know that Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston, that was on the first episode of SmackDown on Fox. Correct
Yep.
me if I'm wrong.
Oh, yeah. Yay.
Yes, because please correct me if I'm wrong, because I would
No,
really like
it was
to
that
remove
horseshit.
this
Yep.
from my memory. Yes. Okay.
A
So
lot of us would.
yeah, who knows what they can do this time. But going back to Vinci, this was, oh man. Uh
That was
th- th-
2019. Holy hell.
yeah, it was that long ago. So the thing is, Apollo didn't beat Vinci in 3 seconds because they have faith in Apollo, and because they're gonna push Apollo. They've been teaming him up with Baron Corbin, which isn't a bad thing, but like they're all of a sudden baby faces now. You know, Corbin, which is kind of weird. And then like nothing happens, and then they're getting beat all the time. And now Apollo beat someone in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
This is what I meant when I said that I was gonna give it time. But do you know what I will not give time to? Because I'm really, really, really pissed.
What's that?
Uh yes, did you catch NXT this week?
I did for once.
Yeah, so tell me what yeah, for once. Tell me what you thought of Giulia's debut.
I thought it was good. There's nothing that um nothing I like Chelsea Green, so I
Okay?
thought that was
All
a
of us
perfect
do.
person. I thought that was a perfect person to put her in the ring with. I enjoyed it. Julia's good. There was
Mhm.
nothing that like I was fine with it. Like I thought it was a good debut
Okay.
ahead of it, and I like how they put her in the match ahead of just bringing her out on October 1st, letting the crowd, letting the people see her wrestle, like the people that are watching NXT from home or wherever they watch it, to
Sure.
build it up. Because if you haven't seen her, it doesn't do as much. So I'm glad they did that.
Okay. I hated it.
Okay, why was that?
Uh okay, you cannot. I adore Chelsea Green.
Oh, I do
Let me
too.
start off by saying this. I think Chelsea Green deserves the world. I think
Yes.
that they should not only give her all the titles, but they should invent new ones so they can give it to
Yeah.
Chelsea. This is how much I love Chelsea Green. She's been solely responsible for my entertainment when it comes to WWE nowadays, because they're slightly moving to, that less entertainment and more action, and that's fine. But Chelsea Green has been that constant um entertainment, and it's not only entertainment, but it's like my kind of entertainment. She's stupid, she's goofy, she's funny, she's my thing. But they're trying to present Giulia as this unstoppable force.
Yeah.
Everyone is absolutely aware that she will be the one to dethrone Roxanne Perez. And
Yes.
at this time, they've built Roxanne Perez as this unbeatable champion that has been moving the NXT women's division in NXT.
Okay. Yeah.
And what they did in this match was 90%, 98% of the match, Chelsea Green was kicking Julia's ass. Like, Giulia did not do anything. Like, she did a pretty good neck breaker from the apron on the outside. She did a magnificent knee, and then she hit her finisher. That is all that she did in the match. The rest of the match was Chelsea Green kicking her ass. And because she had so little offense in this, like in this match, what are we supposed to expect in the match with Roxanne? I'm This is one of the few times, instances where I would have preferred a squash, because you need to present Giulia as this woman in NXT.
Yeah. I
I'm a bit puzzled as to why they presented her that way in her debut. Um the match was good all around if nothing mattered in the match itself.
yeah.
Again, I adore Chelsea Green, and if it was someone else, I would have been wildly out of control right now. Wildly out of control. But because it's Chelsea, I'm gonna give them the benefit of doubt, because again, I adore the woman. Um, but Julia should have been extremely dominant in her first match in NXT, her first win in NXT. This was supposed to be a statement towards Roxanne. This is all I'm saying. Because Roxanne, I don't know, because my memory sucks, guys. If you're new here, Rob and I's memory suck. Yes, I could not for the life of me remember if Roxy ever faced Chelsea. She did, right?
uh, I believe they have.
Yeah,
We
I
will check.
believe. So yes, please check on Cage Match if they ever faced each other,
I'm sure they
because
have,
I feel like they faced each other at NXT.
and they might have
Uh,
like other places too.
no, I was asking specifically
Oh, gotcha.
in WWE
Okay,
alone,
gotcha. Yep.
because I'm trying to make a point out
Yeah,
of
they
that.
faced each other May 7th.
May 7th this year.
Yep.
How long was the match?
9 minutes.
9 minutes. Okay.
And they faced each other in now listen to this one. This is actually pretty cool. In tag team action, they faced each other I know this is not WWE, but they faced each other in tag team match. It was Chelsea and Willow against Roxy and Miranda Elise. And then
Oh,
yeah. That's cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like okay, like I could not remember how long it when while you're on Cage Match. Please
Hmm.
don't close Cage Match. Uh, tell me how long the match was between Giulia and Chelsea.
It
Um,
was.
I I know it's NXT television. It went through at least one commercial break. Uh, at at least that's what I remember.
6 minutes and 54 seconds.
6 minutes and 54. Okay, that in my head was so much longer. Okay, it's just the way I feel about this match. Um I know that selling in the ring is almost incredibly as important as it is your moveset itself, but you're but like when you're selling, you're not impressing. You're selling in your first match. Like
Yeah.
you should like selling and bumping for your rival that like you're you're not impressing anyone in your debut. I understand how that's also important, but being presented as the dominant villain that she eventually will be presented as, I didn't think that this was the right way to debut her. That's all I'm saying. And I'm sure that I will forget this in the future because I have extreme faith with the NXT women's division and Giulia.
Yeah. I
I,
mean,
ju- I, yeah, I just thought it was weird. I just thought it was weird.
yeah, I get it. I understand where you're coming from. I just thought it was.
Yes, Joe in the chat brings up a wonderful point. Jordan Grace versus Sol Ruka was a masterpiece because you have two different styles of wrestling in the same ring, and I love this incredibly so. I've made a point out of praising Sol Ruka on this show almost every time we bring up NXT. And while talking about Jordan Grace, everyone here knows she's my absolute hero, and I adore the woman. At some point, one of our colleagues from Fightful will listen to me, and they will say that I love her because Joel hasn't been able to. I forgot to tell Sean, but like he was probably gonna get constipated on the way to that whole event that was live on Chris Van Vliet's YouTube page. Um, I'm surprised that he got video for the Fightful social media while trying desperately to poop. So, yes, Jordan Grace and Sol Ruka. Amazing match. And I was so pissed at the way it ended.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, for I was pissed off for, Rosemary and Wendy Chu being paired together is a wonderful thing
Yeah. It's
because they work well with each other. But I still have zero explanation as to why Wendy Chu is the way she is.
yeah.
Rosemary
Well.
was like, "Oh, let me explain to you why Wendy Chu and I are together," and I'm like, "Fucking no! Explain to me why Wendy woke up like a zombie. What did she dream about? Why was she asleep for half a year? What is the deal with the eye makeup? Like, what?" I'm gonna need some answers about that. But thank you, Joe, for reminding me of this awful thing that happened.
We do
Uh,
have a super chat from Ryan Sullivan. He says can't watch live, but saying HELLO hello. So yeah, I get it.
Hello to you too, sweetie. We love you so much.
Jared JEFFJARRET.
Wow, I did not do that at all. It's just like our system's taken over. I don't understand how that happened.
Yeah, but like, is that Siri?
Yeah, I don't know who it was, but we got hacked.
We got hacked.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. Anyways, but
And you
yeah,
have no idea what this is.
yeah, no,
I'm good. I'm good because like I have a death list with the people who do the bit. And mysterious hacker. Should I write this down?
yeah, it's
Yeah, the mysterious hacker. Okay.
his name. It looks like he left a signature. Anonymous Raw GM is what it says here.
Okay. Okay.
So there you go.
That's fine. Uh I was about to, because like when we were talking about Dynamite, I was going to bring up something that Corey mentioned in the spotlight chat. Uh oh no, it was in the Weez chat today. I don't remember anymore. It's all mushed together. Um
Thank you, Ryan, for the super chat, by the way.
Thank you, sweetie. We love you so much. I hope that you have a really wonderful and pleasant reason as to why you're not watching live. I hope everything's okay. Yeah, when we start talking about Dynamite, I will bring up the masterpiece that Corey mentioned. I'm mad about what he said, but like it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than like, I mean, Raw I thought was decent, for a season for their season premiere. I
Season
know that,
premiere, and they're gonna be 2 hours for 3 months.
yeah, starting when is that? October?
October.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the rest of the year it's gonna be for 2 hours, and I wanna cry a bit because I know that it's not gonna be permanent, because like when you go on Netflix, you're probably gonna want to do the whole 3 hours just so you can get out your content. And Netflix themselves would want more people to watch, the Netflix itself.
Yeah, and like about that, like I know a lot of people like started the rumor about SmackDown going to 3 hours. I think that would be a disaster, and the reason why is
Disaster.
Friday nights, people don't want to be, for the most part, they already had a hard time struggling with with SmackDown on Fridays
Well,
on
not when
Fox.
Roman Reigns was a part of,
Yeah, I know, but I'm
SmackDown.
just saying in general, I don't see them. I don't see a
Which
3 hour
means
show
that
being.
Cody cannot do the work. Okay, that's
Yeah,
it. Cody cannot do the work. He's not a needle mover. Okay, Roman Reigns is.
yeah, and I think for there's a part of me that thinks the brand split's going to be over again, because I think they're going to have to do. This is just me like spitballing here. The reason why is there's going to be a lot of people that do not have Netflix that um, won't that will still have USA,
Okay.
and I think they're going to have to. I'm not saying they're going to do it every week, but they're going to eventually have to have like some of the Raw superstars on SmackDown occasionally. Kind of like, I mean, more than they do now. I mean, they've
Yeah.
done really well about not letting people go over as much they as they used to be. Like it used to be really bad as far as like brand split, but it's been a lot
Is
better.
go over the correct term?
Go over? I would always just say like,
Crossover.
yeah, yeah, crossover. I guess I don't know. There was really never a term that I know of. But it'll be nice to have that 2 hour break for
I'm so hyped for this.
a lot of fans.
Jaden Chat also said that she's absolutely thrilled. A 2 hour Raw will be so good because I like the content that Raw is giving, its viewers, but it's almost as if they're stretching things out because they need to fill in 3 hours of wrestling.
Yeah, I'm curious. It's been so long since a 2 hour Raw that I'm curious to
Yeah,
see how it
I
goes.
mean, the last time Raw was 2 hours, first of all, AJ Lee was there. And not only was she there, but she was in a commercial for this 3 hour Raw, and she was wearing her check gear. That's how far it was, because like
By the
I will always have, AJ Lee
by the way,
comparison.
shout out to our friend Haley who just interviewed her on comicbook.com.
I lost my mind when I thought.
That was pretty
I
cool.
lost my mind. Uh, also, right in the middle of Raw, there was a "We Miss AJ Lee" sign,
I saw
and
that.
I was like, "Yes, yes, we do. Yes, sir, you are correct. Yes, we do."
Yeah. Yep. That's true. What do you think of the main event for NXT with Trick
Yeah,
Williams?
yeah, Trick Williams and Pete Dunne having a last man standing match. Okay. How isn't Pete Dunne being given the world? So he was on Raw, being a part of a fatal four-way match um to see who's the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship. He had a match. He was the one who got pinned, by the way. Jey Uso pinned Pete Dunne. So he had a match, the main event match. He hopped on a plane and immediately did from Canada. He flew to Florida and had a last man standing match the day after that. And it was kind of stupid because he was the one to give Trick Williams the side Russian leg sweep from the balcony to the table that was set on the outside. And he was the one who didn't make the 10 count because like Ethan Page came out and started rallying Pete Dunne to get up. But what happened was because Trick Williams hates Ethan Page so much, he got up before the 10 count and threw him over the announce table, which made him the winner of the last man standing match. I'm kind of pissed off because I'm a huge Pete Dunne fan. British strong style, mustache mountain, like all the things that he's been a part of. Um, I'm I'm not gonna lie, I'm extremely happy that we get to see Pete Dunne on our television because there used to be a time that we didn't get that. Both him and Tyler Bate were well and not injured, and they just did not use them on television. I was ecstatic when he went back to Pete Dunne and put Butch behind him. The fact that they're using this for a storyline between him and Sheamus is kind of intriguing because I'm sure that this still hasn't ended because
Yeah.
Sheamus still. What do you call it? Shillelagh? No, what?
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
call that?
That's it.
Yes,
Chile.
Shillelagh. That's.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly. It sounds really silly. Um, so I think that this is going to be a thing for the near future. It hasn't ended. I will never say no to this because Sheamus versus Pete Dunne, like we already saw this match and it was a banger. So I will not never say no to another one of these matches. Sheamus in the ring, please. Pete Dunne in the ring with Sheamus, just yes, please. Pete Dunne is one of these people that if you have a bad match with Pete Dunne, it's probably your fault. He's been around for quite some time and he's picked up on a lot of things. Yeah, but like I understand NXT's fascination with Trick Williams. I adored Trick Williams up until the point that this killed the debut on the main roster for Carmelo Hayes. Everything that's happening with Carmelo Hayes and Andrade over at SmackDown right now is pretty good because they're having bangers every week.
Yeah.
And yeah, and now they're probably gonna fight over the United States Championship, and I will never say no to that because that's, that's what's fucking brilliant. Not Oasis, that is what's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's, by the way, that's tonight too. There's an Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes match tonight. You also have.
is this number 3 or is this
Yep.
number 4? This is number 3.
Number 3. Yep.
Okay.
So
I
you have
cannot wait
that.
for that. The match is absolutely fantastic. This is what I'm talking about. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No.
Up until now, what?
No, I was just gonna say there's that. There's also Grayson Waller and Theory taking on Kevin Owens and a mystery partner.
And a mystery
I'm
partner. Who do you think that mystery partner is?
well, I guess okay. So the WWE fan part of me, or the assumption part of me, thinks it's gonna be Randy Orton, but part of me
Sure.
really, really hopes it's John Cena.
Well, it's kind of obvious that it's gonna be Randy Orton, and
I
if
know.
like they wouldn't make it a surprise if it was. And so yeah, John Cena is way more plausible for me because a mystery partner. Everyone like, they teamed 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
What do you
I
mean
know.
a mystery partner?
That's why I'm hoping
Like
it's
it's
John Cena.
yeah, it's not that far behind.
I mean, I
So
could, in a way, I could see them. I could see it being. This is the order I have it in, just because of me being a pessimist. I think it's Randy Orton, John Cena, Sami Zayn. I could be it if it's like I could see it being Sami Zayn too.
you're everyone that
Well, I mean, I
he's
can see
not
like
returning until 2025.
yeah. I mean, that's true, but I mean, I could see like a one-time like thing if he's free, and I don't know where he's at by any means.
If he's free, he's barely free for pancakes.
I know. I'm just saying, like, I don't because a lot of movies film in Vancouver. I mean,
Sure.
Vancouver's not too far from Seattle. It's a quick flight. I'm just saying, if it's possible. I don't know if he's in Vancouver. I'm just saying, like, I don't know where the hell he is. I can't even see him. It's John Cena, so, you know.
Yeah, it's John Cena.
I'm just saying.
So
I'm just throwing it out there. It's going to be one of those three. It's just.
I suppose it's gonna be Randy Orton, but the fact that they made it a mystery partner, like why? I understand that people will pop for Randy Orton. I have not um I've not been shy with sharing the fact that I was never a Randy Orton girl, but I definitely understand why people like the guy.
If it's
Was
Kurt
was
Cobain,
that
that'd be a hell of a shocker. I can say that much.
who said that it's gonna be Kurt Cobain?
I'm just throwing it out there. Seattle, you know, me trying to be funny didn't work. So let's just.
There's more to Seattle than Nirvana.
Oh, I know. There's Heart. There's Foo Fighters. There's Sonic Youth. There's
Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains,
yeah, Pearl Jam.
Soundgarden, Audio Slave.
By the
like,
way, how'd they ever get Pearl Jammed? I mean, that's this. Oh, duh! This is what I even tweeted today. That's who I think it is. Not. That's who I really want it to be. That's who I really want it to be. Not John Cena. What the hell is wrong with me? That's who I want it to be. That's who I want it to be. That guy.
I would for AJ Styles. I will pop.
Oh, this would be cool for me too. King Griffey Jr., your favorite baseball player. I know you're a big King Griffey Jr. fan.
Yes, I know who that is.
Yeah, see? The kid. You were a big fan of the Kingdom back in the day. Dave Buhner, Randy Johnson.
I'm sorry. Please
Edgar
return tonight,
Martinez,
sweetie.
Tino Martinez. I was gonna say Tito, that ain't right. Back in the day. You would have been a big Seattle Mariners fan. I can tell. I know this. I'm speaking like different language to you right now. I know that.
You are. I'm just spending time with my AJ Styles action.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Is that the one that you never mind? Yeah.
Hey, we made a deal, okay?
I know. That's why I stopped. Anyways, yeah, let's talk AEW Dynamite.
Let's do a Cooper effect and then talk about
let's
everything.
El Cooper effecto. Give me 1 second to get on
Secondo.
To get on the El Cooper effecto.
So this week's Cooper Fed is kind of a sad one, but I will not let it get to me as much as it actually did the day of. This past week, we lost James Earl Jones. Um, so this is actually why I'm wearing a Star Wars T-shirt. This is the Star Wars T-shirt that Rob sent to me a couple of years back. Um, James Earl Jones, I am absolutely 100% sure that it was at least at some point of our lives in all of ours homes, whether it be the voice of the Lion King or Darth Vader. I would not like to admit how long it took me to realize that the Lion King is also James Earl Jones. You do not want me to, to confess that. But because I am a girl who grew up with Star Wars, I like that voice. James Earl Jones's voice is imprinted in my mind forever and ever because there used to be a full summer in which I watched every Star Wars episode every day, which means fourth, fifth, and sixth episode of Star Wars, because those were the ones that the only ones out. Um, Absolutely brilliant voice, and it's just I didn't even realize that James Earl Jones was 93 years old. That's a lot, man. He did a lot of cameos in a lot of TV series. Of course, one of my favorite ones is the one from Big Bang Theory. I know a lot of Americans fucking hate that show. But I will bring that up because this is in this episode was the very episode where both James Earl Jones and Carrie Fisher made a cameo in this specific episode. Um, he he always sounded extremely genuine in his love towards the franchise, towards everything that he did in his life, and just I I'm thankful every day that I got to hear that iconic voice. And I hope that he's somewhere when he can rest and drink tea with honey because that voice has to has to be okay because we're going to have to listen to it at one point of our lives too. Rob, I know that you wanted to, to have some words about that too.
Yeah, he was a voice of just like my childhood as well. Star Wars. Um, this this picture right here is from one of my favorite movies, Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner. One of my
Mhm.
favorite baseball movies, one of my favorite films. Uh, just one of my like all time favorites. I love this movie. He was in The Sandlot. He was, I mean, Lion King. Mus, Mufasa, Mufasa. That's it. um, just so many great films. He was in uh, Conan and the Barbarian. Just so many so many films, and he was the voice of like CNN. This is CNN. Like
This
it,
is CNN.
like I mean, it's just he just had that voice, the iconic voice, and that episode you're talking about. Even if you did not like Big Bang Theory, that was an hilarious episode. Like,
Hilarious episode. You got to hear his laugh
yeah,
because, like, if you're so embedded into the Star Wars franchise, you never
yeah,
think that Darth Vader would ever laugh in his lifetime ever. Yet if this was the only thing that you've seen James Earl Jones as a part of, you got to hear him laugh, and it was so incredibly genuine. I'm absolutely sure that he had a blast filming that episode, and Carrie Fisher was there.
yeah. And I even if you don't like baseball, um,
Yeah,
watch
I
Field of
know. Jade
Dreams.
mentions that he was in Field of Dreams. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's just watch the movie. I think you would love
Okay.
it. Like even you don't have to be a baseball fan. Coming to America is another one that he was great in, with Eddie Murphy. there's so many great ones, and I just the Cooper effect is the reason why he's the Cooper effect is just how many people he's brought together, like just so
Yes.
many memories he's brought families together. Like Maggie says, she's told me she used to watch Star Wars with her dad. I me and my friends we used to talk Star Wars all the time. Just he had a big impact on a lot of people, and he will have an impact.
I would like publicly to tell Mr. James Earl Jones is that a tattoo of Darth Vader is between my legs forever and ever. And he is absolutely forever with me. So there.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't think of any better way to end the Cooper fight than this.
James, I would like to publicly let you know I do not have a tattoo between my legs of Darth Vader.
Yet.
Yeah, that we will not have it either.
Okay. Let's talk about AEW All Out.
Yeah. All right.
So tell me what you thought about the show, because I already told our fans how extremely out of it I was, because like after the show during my shift, because I had a shit ton of work to do. I had to clean the entire bar after that insane weekend that we had. So I was checking out social media and everyone was talking about All Out, and I'm like, I don't remember anything from this show. I remember
uh,
shit.
I thought it was a great show. Like, I mean, I what I liked so much is the night and day difference between that and All In, and All In was a good show.
The
That
meme itself, the Simpsons
yeah,
meme that I shared, which everyone loved, because I don't watch the Simpsons, but you don't need to watch the Simpsons to get the meme. It was absolutely on point.
yeah,
You're absolutely correct. Yes, continue.
yeah. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great show. I get, I understand where some people are coming from as far as like the violence in the steel cage match. I completely understand where they're coming from. To an extent, I get it. Um, if that's not what they were expecting, then that kind of sucks for them. But I don't really know what to say to that. I mean, was it cringe? It wasn't. I guess it's different because I've seen that stuff before. Like in, um, I I used to watch XPW when I was young, like in my 20s, and I've seen that stuff. So I like it didn't bother me.
Mhm.
If you had a kid that's around 12, 13, or younger, I can see why it would be disappointing or for you. You know what I mean? Like I can
It's a
see that, but
lights out cage match. You
yeah.
knew what you were about to
Well,
watch.
to an extent, What I'm saying is, to an extent, some people still don't think didn't think it'd go that far. In a million years, I didn't think I'd see a syringe brought out. I could say that. I was not expecting that. But let's also be real here. They just promoted a burning down a. They just burned down a house a few days before.
Burning down the house.
Yeah, I was trying to do that when I wasn't gonna. But but yeah, the thing is, it didn't bother me. But what I'm saying is, I can see people's point, but I don't think that also they need to like ban the company or anything like that. I think it's just know what you're going to be potentially watching. Just
Yeah.
I mean, they did say it's a lights out match. So I mean, you're right. They did say that, and you
it's
know,
it's it's always easier to blame someone else for you not paying attention.
yeah, it
if
is.
if you say that you're angry at AEW for producing this type of pay-per-view experience while you're watching with your child, you knew what that previous match that they had, the
Maybe,
no
yeah,
yeah, you knew what you saw. Like Hangman stapled a bunch of his child's drawings on his cheek, and then he drank his blood and spat it out, and I am wet from saying that. Just and because you know what you saw like months ago on that.
Yeah,
Whatever could they possibly put on this show, they could top this. So
yeah.
it's your fault if you say, "Oh, I was watching with my kids," when you fucking don't. Next
Well, I
time,
mean, this is what I'll
cunt.
say too. To this is what I'll say about that too. Some people, again, this is I understand where you're coming from. Absolutely, there's some people that did not watch that other match, so to those people, it's one of those
And they
things. Like
have no
they
idea
just
what happened in
yeah
that match.
yeah. I'm just saying there's some people that might not know what happened to that match. Is all I'm saying. Like, but I'm also saying that you need to you need to know that you're watching a pay-per-view. Shit happens, you know. Thing
It's a
it's
lights out,
yeah.
no DQ match. Lights out, cage match. Why is it a lights out match? Because WWE in AEW in kayfabe do not want to sanction this type of behavior, this type of match, this sort of things in kayfabe. They don't
Yeah.
want to be any part of this. So if you're using your brain a bit, you'd know what you're about to watch.
Yeah,
Just do
exactly.
not make excuses for people who just want to be angry for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
Okay, just don't make excuses for them. If people want to be angry at what they're watching, they can just fucking turn off the television.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that's the thing. Like you need to be responsible for what you're watching or who or
Absolutely,
like that's the
absolutely.
thing. If you think there's a chance that something is going to be there, like there's a difference between what was there that night and being what happened like at the Super Bowl years ago with Janet Jackson. I can completely understand people losing their shit over that more than they can with what happened at this pay-per-view. That's even though I was happy as hell, I was like, "Hey, look, a boob," like, you know, I'm just, it is what it is. But eh, I digress.
Absolutely.
In the
Absolutely.
words of Taz, I digress.
Yes, but there were other matches on this card as well.
I want to,
Man,
Chris Statlander and Willow, absolutely
yeah, so this was
killed
this
it.
was the thing that I wanted to talk about after. So because Pac and Will Ospreay. I mean, I'm gonna need this match again because I'm spoiled now. My favorite Will Ospreay match from this year will still be no, was it this year against Danielson? Was it this year? I don't even remember anymore. Yeah, Ospreay and Danielson was this year, right? Or was it
Yeah,
last year
I
at
think
Wrestle Dream? I
I,
I just I don't remember anymore, guys. Please help me.
I'm looking.
um yeah, so Will Ospreay is on his way to have a perfect year at this point. Like he every time he delivers when it's pay-per-view. In a match as a whole. But
No, it was July 3rd.
this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So much has happened this year that I just have no recollection. Um yeah, so but we knew that this was going to be an incredible match, right? Because it's two of our favorites, Pac and Will Ospreay. Again, I'm going to need to watch this one more time, please and thank you. But the fact that they put on Willow and Chris Statlander right after this match, like I was a bit pissed off because whatever you put after this match, the audience is going to be stone cold silent because they were spent from Will Ospreay and Pac. And even following that kind of match between probably two of the best in ring competitors in that locker room, and they did not take a step back from that match. Willow and Chris Statlander put on one of the best women's matches in AEW history. I'm not going to go as far as to say North American history for this year. For this year, I'm not going to say that because, like, again, my memory is really really shitty. Uh, But it just goes to show you just how women deliver when they are given the opportunity to. Um, the match was absolutely fantastic. I'm like, one of the best spots in the match was Chris Statlander doing the splits on thumbtacks, and I was like, I feel this.
Mhm.
I fucking feel this. And absolute banger. They didn't hold back, and they were exactly as brutal as the male competitors would be in that specific type of match. Extremely proud of both of them, and I don't know if this is the end of their feud or whatever, but they proved that women can hang in the ring with the men. Every time the women are given the opportunity to be in a street fight, cage match, or whatever, this type of aggressive type of match in the ring, um, they just show you that they can hang. Like all of the women who have been a part of these types of matches at AEW, they've all been um, they've all delivered. Um, yeah, but like, going back to Swerve versus Hangman, I would like to say, for everyone in the chat that said that this match was not for them, Jade, I thought I saw that you said um, you expressed your emotions when it came to this match. I Death matches, no DQ matches, hardcore matches, all this type of matches. Those aren't for me. I'm they are not for me. I like the wrestling. I like the joint manipulations. I like the wrestling moves. I like locking up at the beginning of the match, show of strength and everything. I like the wrestling. I Those types of matches are not for me. There are very few exceptions, and this match was an exception to this rule, and only because it was Swerve and Hangman. I feel like this will go down into history as one of the best feuds, period. No matter WWE or AEW. It's just so incredibly emotional that people are arguing with each other about who's the face and who's the heel in this particular situation, because you can make a point out of both. And this is what makes it extremely unique circumstances, because um clean cut things are good, but in this specific situation, I like the balance in in the whole story. And Corey and Supi will appreciate the David Lynch throwback here. Balance is the key. Balance is the key to everything in life. So I I understand why the syringe was a bit cringe. Um,
Syringe
Believe me,
cringe.
if this were any other two wrestlers with a story that was not built this well, I would have hated this match. I'm just gonna go out and say it. But because it was this feud specifically, I didn't mind any of it. Um, like the cinder block spots, and how can you possibly gimmick a cinder block? I like, to this day, I have no idea how you do that. I would like to think that it was a gimmick one. Everyone then started talking about the chair shot, which was Sean said on the post show that it was in fact a gimmick chair. The fact that like it fell apart the way it did is proof enough that it was a gimmick chair. Um, but everyone, oh my god, a chair shot! Are you kidding? Like, you just saw Hangman piercing Swerve's cheek with a syringe. What was in that syringe, by the way? Was it
Uh,
lidocaine?
I, I,
Because if if you believe kayfabe, like if you believe kayfabe and you believe Hangman truly hates Swerve, then it must not be lidocaine, because like you will just numb your senses and it won't hurt at all. Uh,
yeah.
So Hangman wins this match. Bear in mind that this match started before even the steel cage was brought down. That's the amount of hate that those two people have towards each other. Um, but the thing that got me the most, because as awesome as Hangman is in the ring, he has most power when it comes to his acting and his facial expressions and his like the emotion is in his eyes. This is what's important when it comes to Hangman in storytelling. This is everything. And the moment he won the match and he started going up the ramp, and as he because he was walking in reverse, like he was looking at the ring and going backwards, and he was watching everyone in the ring trying to wake Swerve up. And it was at that moment that probably some remorse started entering his mind. And you could see in his eyes then when he stepped towards the ring, he wanted to go back. The sheer terror in the audience's gasp at that moment, it kind of frightened him. Like go back and watch it because this is really important Hangman acting. And he felt extremely frightened at the response that the audience had because and the audience played it perfectly because they were legitimately terrified at what Hangman was about to do to Hangman because they all believed
You mean
that
Swerve,
he
yeah.
could go back in the ring. He absolutely not a person in that arena thought that he wasn't going to go back in the ring because they saw what Hangman did to Swerve. They saw that. And so, of course, everyone was terrified of that. And then he heard them. And it was just it was everything. It was a wonderful way
Yeah.
to end the pay-per-view. But the thing that happened on this week's Dynamite was that he made a point out of um getting his hands on everyone that stood in the way of him in this match. He went past Dark Order and they said that they don't even recognize what he's become. Then he had some words with Jeff Jarrett, which fucking sucked.
Jared, JEFFJARRET.
Again, you I don't know. It's just so weird.
I don't know, it's as if he's Joe Hendry. Yeah, so they're apparently gonna have the match, which just fucking sucks. But I do hope that Hangman just mauls Jeff Jarrett, okay? Just walks by Preston.
You know something I before I forget, you know me, because I will forget. This is off topic. PWI did release their top 500.
Mm-hmm.
Number 69 is Dominic Mysterio, so I want to congratulate Kate
Nice.
because that means she's contractually obligated to be his biggest fan for the next 12 months. So congrats to her.
Congratulations, Kate. We love
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
D'Lo Dix brings up that Hangman will end Bryan Danielson's career. You can make a case out of both Bryan Danielson and John Moxley right now. I hope to God that it's not Darby Allin, but we're about to talk about that. Yeah. So the other thing that happened also, Jesus Christ, on All Out this past Saturday was that okay. So the match itself wasn't the thing that we're gonna talk about. Bryan Danielson versus Jack Perry. The match was absolutely fine. Um, I even enjoyed it, but like Jack Perry kicked out of the Psycho knee the first time that Bryan Danielson delivered it. Then of course he couldn't um, he couldn't win the match regardless. What happened after is that the patriarchy came out, and I'm like, no, this cannot be happening. Like Christian Cage cannot cash in now. So what happened was the entire BCC came out and stood between the patriarchy and the ring in which Bryan Danielson was in. And I was like, fucking yes, this is so badass. And then they got in the ring and they started celebrating a bit too much.
Mm.
And I was half asleep and I was like, what is happening here? And then I closed my eyes to yawn, okay? And this wasn't because like the show was bad. I wanna underline this. I'm 35 years old and I have to sleep for more than an hour and a half after a 15-hour shift. That's all I'm gonna say. Um, so while I was yawning, Claudio hit Bryan Danielson with an uppercut. So what happened is that I close my eyes and then I wake up from the yawn and I see Bryan Danielson shocked on the ground and he's not even selling the uppercut. Like his shock was way bigger than the force of the uppercut. And I was like, wait, what happened? And I saw that Claudio was kind of not thrilled that he did what he did. And at that point, I was like, okay, this is interesting, but why? And then John Moxley, ever so gently, started choking Bryan Danielson with a plastic bag over his head. And Wheeler Yuta played this magnificently because he was hoping that he could save um his mentor, but Pac did not let him. Like he was standing in his way, he was holding him back. And Pac had his back turned towards Bryan Danielson this entire time. He was facing the crowd while Yuta was trying his best to help Bryan Danielson. So they left the ring. Yuta, what?
Time out.
What?
Before I forget. Okay, so well, I'm gonna let you finish, but when we get to Dynamite, like
Okay.
when Moxley talks, I
Mhm.
want to bring something up. So go ahead.
Okay. You sure
I
you
just-
don't want to say it now?
Yeah, because I don't want to skip ahead. So
Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, so what happened here was, the probably the second murder attempt on this show, although it did happen first. Like, Hangman and Swerve did happen afterwards. What's next for both Moxley and Hangman? Probably prison, I don't know. So it's um
well, they're sending Moxley back to WWE, huh?
yeah, no,
I'm kidding.
please
I'm
don't.
kidding.
Um
Remember that
so
video he did
I
after he
do.
got released?
I do.
And,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what happened was uh when they were on Dynamite, um Marina Shafir, like she looks so at home in this role that she's. I
She looks
love
like the
this.
toughest one out of the whole
The
freaking group.
toughest one, like the moment she turns her back on the camera, and I'm like, this physique
M-
is phenomenal.
Reminds me of
I
China, like really does.
Yeah,
like DX is.
but it's so good. And like I know that people have been wanting to see Marin Shafir in the BCC, and this brand new look for the BCC. I don't even know what they're calling themselves now because
I don't know.
yeah, they're probably gonna tell us at some point. uh I'm so glad that Marin Shafir is a part of this amazing group right now. So what they're doing right now is a third attempt at a hostile takeover when it comes to AEW, which I let's hope that this one sticks, and it sticks because it works, and not only because they just want to wait it out until the end. I just want this to work because a year ago, or no, it wasn't a year ago, when the Elite were trying to do that, like it was. I know that it was a funny bit, but like beating up your boss, TK, like, and they did nothing with that afterwards. Well, not nothing, but like it's kind of deflating. Um, so what happened with Moxley and Darby Allen on the show, I will let you talk about, what happened, but the way Dynamite opened up this week was a recap with John Moxley, talking in the background, and I was so in love with this video
Yeah.
because it was so real, and they showed footage of them carrying Bryan Danielson, who was unconscious. Everyone played their role so good that it got to me. Like the opening video just got to me, and it was it's just brilliant. It almost feels like this is a brand new start for AEW, and I'm incredibly happy to see that because like they wanted to send us home happy into the sunset after at Wembley, and it's almost as if they were like, enjoy this while you can because it's about to get really really dark, and then it did. uh Amazing, amazing. Moxley did get a face to face with Darby Allin because Darby Allin did come out and he said, someone's been looking for me, I'm here now, so might as well talk about it. um so what happened was Moxley was like, well, Brian Danielson is indisposed right now, so he cannot possibly face you. Do you want to kind of maybe want to give me that match against Danielson? Because you're not ready. You have no idea what's going on and you're not ready. And Darby then said, like, you're going to have to work for it. And they're eventually going to have a match with, against each other at Grand Slam for that set championship. Uh, but did you want to talk about this before I touch upon the Nigel McGuinness thing?
Yeah. So one thing that like what got me like really intrigued about this was how Moxley brought up, without bringing his name up, William Regal,
William Regal, it
and
was really good. Yeah.
I liked how this was going, and I hope I like how they brought it up and how they made it make sense. But what I hope more than anything is I would like to hear Bryan Danielson say, "Well, I talked to our mentor, and he told me to kick your fucking head in." That's what I hope he says. Like I hope he says something like that. I talked
Yeah.
to our mentor, and then just to see Moxley fuming, because that will get Moxley mad, like because it would, because that's Moxley respects and loves that man, and
Oh
for
yeah, absolutely.
and that's what I think, like it'd be good, but you also have to look at it like, well, like Regal would probably say the same to Moxley, like just
Absolutely.
fight.
Hmm.
So I love it. I love that. Um, I enjoyed it, and I like how they brought it up, and they didn't bring up the name. I thought it was good. I thought it was real good. And as far as like the way it happened, I thought it was good. I liked the nuance of it all. I liked the beginning of how uh how like basically was celebrating with Wheeler Yuta, and then all of a sudden
He
he
was
just,
hugging him, and
yeah,
then he
and then
just didn't
that's
let
when he
go.
just, yeah, I love that.
So good.
And that whole reaction, and then Wheeler Yuta's reaction when he got let go, and just even the slap from Claudio, like it's I thought that was brilliant, because it's just like, because it showed to me that they still want Wheeler part of the group, but they knew that it would affect him. That was one thing
That
that caught my attention.
Yeah, it looks like, because like there's still trio of champions, by the way. There's still champions, and it looks like, because if they didn't want him in the group, they would have beaten the hell out of him there. But I suppose that they're still hoping they could bring him to the dark side
Come
at
to the
some
dark side.
point.
We have cookies.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Hi, Doug.
Doug sent us a super chat. He says, "It's okay, guys. I'm here. We did miss you. You did miss, about 10 to 15 minutes of me just rambling from the start of the show because Rob was
That
being Rob. Uh,
first first day.
uh, so the important thing is in this was like, hi Darby, Bryan Danielson is indisposed, and at this very moment, Nigel McGuinness had a fascinating idea. He was like, Bryan Danielson can't wrestle. I need to speak to Tony Khan immediately.
Yeah.
So he goes to talk to Tony Khan, and then he comes out to the ring with a contract in his hand. And he's like, Oasis will play me to the ring. I will fight you, Bryan Danielson, because he said that the AEW champion has to fight at Grand Slam. So he's like, Bryan Danielson isn't here because Bryan Danielson is afraid of the match that everyone else wants and begs for. You know who isn't afraid? Tony Khan is not afraid. So Tony Khan made it official. It's going to be Bryan Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness at Grand Slam. I still have no idea if it's going to be for the championship.
I assume it will be.
I have no idea why. Because like, why is this happening? Like, explain to me why um Bryan Danielson isn't fit to compete against Darby Allin, but
Well, I
he
mean,
is fit to compete against uh Nigel McGuinness. Because like that's kind of a slap in the face because I understand that if Nigel McGuinness is just being
oh, you know
a
what? Maybe
slimy
it's
heel,
not. It's not on the line according to this.
yeah,
Well,
like
according to what I have in front of me, it's not.
they haven't said if it's for the championship or not. Because either way, I don't think Nigel McGuinness is winning. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So Nigel McGuinness can be a smart, a slimy heel and say like that the only reason why he wants this match is because he knows Bryan Danielson isn't 100%. You can make a point out of that, but it's a bit odd. Everything that happened on this week's Dynamite was incredibly awesome, but I have a lot of questions for almost every segment. For starters, like the way the BCC went to the ring, like they said they beat up Commander and Private Party. For starters, why weren't Private Party a part of that tag team gauntlet that happened at the end of the in the main event of Dynamite? Because like, please explain to me, like Private Party are homegrown talent. You know,
Yeah.
they were there from day one. Like they beat the Young Bucks.
Don't care. No.
Yeah,
I just. I don't know. They haven't. I don't know. They just haven't done anything like for me.
I understand that, but what is their reasoning behind not pushing Private Party? That's all I'm saying. I'm willing to give Private Party a chance. Um, because at the end of the day, they had in that tag team gauntlet, they had Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay win that gauntlet just because Don Callis was like, hey, listen, you've won every gauntlet that you were a part of, so why not team with Kyle Fletcher so we can bring some gold into the Don Callis family? You can see Takeshita losing his mind behind Don Callis's back. I know that they're building towards something,
Mm-hmm.
but I and this is when Corey mentioned this morning on Into Weeds that the the team that had to win that tag team gauntlet was the team of Shane McMahon and Jeff Jarrett. Uh, yeah, so um, the terror in my head was that I this Sunday was while I was working and while I was cleaning the bar, and I was like, what if Shane McMahon debuted at All Out and I just don't remember? Why? What if this was the reason I don't remember the pay per view whatsoever because my mind erased that horrible mistake from my mind? And then I went back and watched it, and Shane McMahon wasn't there. I will never take this for granted, you know, Shane McMahon not being there. Hopefully, it doesn't happen. I don't want no, like don't give me that. Um, yeah, so Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay ended up winning the tag team gauntlet, which I I understand that what they're doing is that they're trying to build back the tag team division, and they're leaning towards the thing that they know will work because they've done it before in the eyes of Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega being tag team champions. And this was back in the day when the tag team division was thriving. And I would like to think that there is zero tag team division right now because neither neither the trios nor the tag team division itself is clicking for me. But I will not lie to you when I say Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay versus the Young Bucks is something amazing that I want to see. It's fresh. So I can't wait. I don't know how this goes. I don't know how they build towards that. It's gonna be a Grand Slam, right? In
Yes,
two
ma'am.
weeks. Yes. So I'm gonna give them the benefit of doubt. I was hoping that Will Ospreay is. By the way, every week he was like, I want to go and put my attention towards Ricochet because, like Ricochet said, that he's gonna put some wins on his resume and then he's gonna challenge for the title. And every time Will Ospreay tries to put his focus on Ricochet, something else pulls him away into something totally different. So this might be a story that they're going towards, them going towards each other, but always something that's tearing them apart and throwing them into a different direction. It's gonna be an interesting angle if it turns out to be the truth.
Yeah, I agree. So, hmm. Well, Maggie, you want to plug your shit?
What did you think of the Gauntlet? I like did because like you didn't.
Well, I I thought it was a good match. I was surprised they went with a non-traditional tag team. Granted, I know they have history. Obviously, Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay have a ton of history. I thought it was weird that that's the route they're going because, in a way, it tells me it this. In a way, it tells me that the Young Bucks are going to win. That's just my way of going that way. Um, I I tweeted during the match that New York would go nuts for Young Bucks versus the Outrunners, even though I know who'd
Oh,
win that
the
one too.
Outrunners were absolutely over. They got the
Yeah,
biggest pop in that Gauntlet.
yeah, they're gonna get the biggest pot. They're the most over team, like tag team, and it's fantastic. I love it for those guys because they are great.
They're
So
naturally over.
yeah, it's hilarious, and they're hilarious. So um,
They're the youngest tag team in that on that roster.
are they? I did not know that. They look
No,
like. Oh, I was like gonna say they look like the oldest, so that's why I was like. I was like, wow, you
that's
got me
what
there.
that's what they're saying on commentary. By the way, I just wanted to bring up the fact that um during this week's Dynamite, the match between Jack Perry and Sammy Guevara on for the TNT champion, it was against Sammy, right? Right?
The no, the no, Sammy
Oh, Leo
wrestled.
Rush, Leo
Yeah,
Rush, right?
yeah, Leo Rush versus Jack.
Yeah, Leo Rush versus Jack Perry for that
That's
TNT
fun.
championship. Yes. So they brought up Kenny Omega on commentary, and they haven't done this before.
Kenneth. Yeah,
Yeah. So I hope that this leads to something because do not give me false hope, okay?
yeah.
Like
Well, I need the
they
return to Kenneth.
rarely, yes, they rarely mention Kenny Omega on commentary. I don't remember the last time they did that, but they did here. Uh, because like Jack Perry is kind of adopted the knee as in the V trigger. Like it's nowhere near. as magnificent as Kenny Omega's V
Oh
Trigger.
yeah, no.
Nowhere near. I love Jack Perry. Nowhere near that level of awesomeness. But like
two-
he has adopted
The two
move.
people that hit the best V triggers are Kenny Omega and Jeremy Lambert. Those are the two best.
Did not know you're going
Yep.
to go that route, but Buddy
It's been
Matthews.
proven. Yeah.
Buddy
Been
Matthews.
proven. Scientists agree.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay.
So some other news before we wrap up. There's something that was added just a few minutes ago. This
SmackDown?
Sunday,
Oh no.
no, this Sunday, they added a match for the folks that go to the Jacksonville Jaguars game and Cleveland Browns this Sunday. Before the game, there is going to be an AEW tag match at Flex Field. Maggie's guy Hologram and Sammy
Flexfield.
Guevara, taking on Beast Mortos and Maggie's guy Matthew Taven.
Yes,
So-
my guy is Matt Taven.
Lucha Libre match, 2 out of 3 falls, so that's pretty cool that they're doing that. So that's awesome. And then they did announce that the first 30 minutes of Smacketh Down will be commercial free. So there's that. I'll see if there's any other news that came up since I haven't looked.
What do you think opens up the show then? Is it gonna be Carmelo
no,
Hayes
it's-
and Andrade?
I think it's. I think they announced it's Rhodes for Solo.
Oh, the cage match is gonna be opening up the show?
I believe so. I think that's what I
And
heard.
what's gonna be main eventing the show?
I assume it's going to be probably whatever Roman, maybe. I
Okay.
don't know. Let's see here. I think they. I swear they opened the show. I thought I read that or heard it.
That's fine.
Yep, will open the show. Previously announced Cody Rhodes defending his undisputed WWE Championship against Solo Sikoa in a cage match will open the show.
Well, that's probably the reason why it's gonna be commercial free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would expect. So Maggie, plug your El Shido.
Guys, you can follow me on Twixter, Twitter, X, or whatever at Maggie_IK, and on Instagram at Maggie.IK. Thank you so much. Rob?
Okay, this popped me. Sorry. 30 minutes ad free might just be Roman's entrance. Well played.
Yes.
Guys, you can follow me at Rob Wilkins on X. I'm also on Instagram and Threads at FightfulRob. And then, of course, you can catch us every Friday right here at 3 o'clock Eastern for Coexisting with Rob and Maggie. Want to say
Thank you to the wonderful people in the chat who hang out with me like while I was during the solo show at the start of the show. What did you remember?
I just remember that TNA Victory Road's tonight. Just want to go over the card real quick. The countdown to Victory Road, 2 matches. Eric Young and Steve Macklin taking on Hammerstone and Jake Something.
Hammerstone on NXT this week against Obafemi.
Yeah, cool.
I did not mind that.
Another countdown match is Kushida taking on Leon Slater. And then on the card, you have Matt Cardona and Steph D-Lander taking on PCO and Rhino. You have the Hardys taking on First Class. TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championship, Masha Slamovich, easy for me to say, and Tasha Stills taking on Spitfire. TNA Tag Team Championship, ABC taking on The System. TNA X Division Championship, Zachary Wentz defending his title against Mike Bailey. Josh Alexander versus Joe Hendry. TNA Knockouts Championship, Jordan Grace taking on NXT's Wendy Chu. And the TNA Championship, Nick Nemeth taking on Moose. So, tonight on TNA Plus, you can check that out. But I want to say thank you for tuning in. Sorry for the
headphones difficulties.
Headphone difficulties, but we got it all taken care of. So, want to say thank you for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week. Peace out, homies. See you later. Big gulps. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Coexisting with Rob and Maggie. You can check out all our previous episodes on your favorite podcast platforms or youtube.com/FightfulOverbooked.